Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to another edition of Can't Have a Gosh Darn Dang Thing in Detroit. For all you young bloods out there, man, that's the G-rated version, right? Yeah, I guess you actually can have things in Detroit, and one of those things, according to Pompey on Sixers, could be Ben Simmons. So, as you guys can read in front of you, the Timberwolves, Pacers, Cavaliers, Pistons, we'll talk about all the teams, don't you all worry, man. Raptors and Spurs are still inquiring about Benjamin Simmons' availability. And for people that are wondering who Keith Pompey is, the source right here, he's actually a beat writer for the 76ers. So obviously, he's probably talking to the front office and kind of like gauging like who they're getting like phone calls from, right? You want to know who also was a beat writer for the Sixers? Stephen A. Smith back in the Iverson days. That doesn't really give Keith here any additional credibility, but like I said, the dude seems like he's part of the management and everything, right, man? So yes, goodness, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I guess first thing what I want to talk about is the Detroit Pistons, because obviously that's my favorite team. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Fanspo, and we are going to see if we can like come up with like some sort of like trade scenario for each one of these teams. But let me explain real quick here why this makes zero, maybe 0.2% chance for the Detroit Pistons. So this previous offseason, the Detroit Pistons went out and they drafted a guy by the name of Cade Cunningham. Number 1 pick overall, if you didn't know, and projected to be a pretty solid basketball player. We can at least say Cade is going to be a pretty solid basketball player. So the issue with that, with the Pistons getting Cade, is that, well, they also have Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes is a guy that, want the ball in his hands, can play some good defense, struggles offensively, Ben. But you still have that what-if factor. So the Detroit Pistons are going into next season with essentially a double point guard backcourt. It's not optimal, but it could, if it works out, it could work out for, lack of a better term, I guess, right? So you have that what if factor. It's like, okay, well, at times Cade will have the ball in his hands, at times Killian will have the ball in his hands. If Killian can develop that 3-point shot, it's just so much better for everybody else. By trading for Ben Simmons, you are already accepting the fact that you are going to be utilizing Cade off ball as a member of the Detroit Pistons. Because at least with Killian, we still have that what if factor where it's like, okay, Cade can handle the basketball, maybe Killian start making his threes. With Ben Simmons, we know that is not the case. This dude is not going to start shooting threes all of a sudden because he's in Detroit. It's just not going to happen, right? So the only way Ben Simmons can play is by having the ball in his hands, thus making Cade off ball all the time. And I don't know if I want that. Actually, I don't want that. I do not want that. And then you got to come up with the trade and everything, which we're going to do here in a second here, man. So, yeah, I'm just like, I read this and I'm just like, bro, I hope it's nothing more than just like, gauging the interest. Like, oh yeah, we'll just take like a 2nd round pick and like, but I was going to say Saban Lee, but I'm going to keep Saban Lee, man. Frank Jackson or whatever, right? Then you got Ben Simmons for that. Okay, then maybe I'll do it. But I guess also too, with Ben Simmons, maybe you could make a case for him like playing the center position, which would be interesting, but still, like, at that point, he would have to become, like, just like a more athletic Ben Wallace, because, then you don't want the ball in his hands. I don't know if Ben Simmons wants to play like that, right, man? So, I don't know, because obviously the kid's great at defense, he is a great playmaker. Like, I do recognize Ben Simmons' talents, but just because you have a guy that's talented in this department does not make him a good fit for your team. And I actually tweeted about this morning, and one of my followers said, yo, Crispy, like, why wouldn't you want to do this? Like, why wouldn't you want to do this? Like, stars don't come to Detroit. And my response was that all the great Piston teams, as far as my memory goes, have been built on the draft and finding diamonds in the rough. And guys that actually want to be here, right? So Ben Simmons, to me, I don't see him wanting to play for Detroit. I just don't really see that in his personality. My latest example of why you don't just trade for the star player, look at Blake Griffin, man. I mean, Blake Griffin did play nice for us for a season, but it definitely did not end well. And I don't think Ben Simmons would end well with the Detroit Pistons either, especially considering he has, 4 years on his contract. Doesn't he? Something like that. So, yeah, man. Alrighty, let's go to Fanspo over here. My apologies also, guys, if you get upset that I focus so much on the Detroit Pistons. Like, that is my favorite team, obviously, so that's, like, my biggest opinion. But, yeah, I do want to get to the rest of this video and discuss, you know, kind of like the, just off the top of my head trades. And you guys, you know, if you're a fan of any of these teams here being available, give me your trades in the comment section below, right? Because, obviously, they're just, like, off the top of my head. Additional pieces can be tossed around if needed. So, yeah, I guess we will start off with the Detroit Pistons. So, let's toss up the 76ers here first. And the Detroit Pistons. So what type of trade would I say would probably get this done? Well, obviously Ben Simmons going to the Pistons, and at this point you're probably looking up at giving up Jeremy Grant. I mean, contract alone you would need to do that. How much is Ben Simmons getting paid? $33 million. So you're probably tossing in, you know, Killian Hayes, because obviously, you know, Killian, Cade, and Ben Simmons just would not work. So that would be like the young piece going over to the Sixers, and that's about $25 million. You're looking to make about $8 million more here. And I guess you could probably do like Josh Jackson and Corey Joseph. No, Josh Jackson and Frank Jackson. That equals roughly the contract of Ben Simmons, unless my math is totally off, which it could possibly be here, man. So something like that, right? Like that's just the type of trade that would need to happen for it to even work. Now you're considering team fit and everything. I actually like Jeremy Grant back on the 76ers. I actually think that kind of makes sense and everything. And then, but Killian Hayes doesn't really help their point guard not being able to shoot woes. So that's why I'm like, will they even consider this? But it would be something along those lines. So yeah, let's try the trade out here. And it is successful, obviously speaking. So there you go. There's the Detroit Pistons trade. So let's go ahead and close out of this and delete the Pistons. So next up, we do have the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I actually did a video over on my main channel. Actually, I guess this is my main channel, isn't it, man? I did a video here on this channel. Sorry, I get the both channels mixed up at times. Of a T-Wolves rebuild where I did trade for Ben Simmons. And like my argument was that I'm not trading for Ben Simmons if it means giving up one of the big three. So I did an entire like trade in which the T-Wolves did not have to give up like D'Lo or anybody like that. And it involved like Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, I think maybe it was Jaden McDaniels or Jared Vanderbilt, somebody like that, Josh Kogi, and then there was like some picks involved too. Just because like I said, the T-Wolves are in a good place, and I don't think they need to trade for Ben Simmons. So I'm not giving up a big-time piece. Like, I'm not giving up D'Lo. Although, I guess, like, you could probably make a case for just Ben Simmons for D'Lo straight up. Like, there is a case to be made there, especially with the T-Wolves having Patrick Beverley on the team, because he could obviously be your starting point guard. And then you have, you know, Ben Simmons is a guy that can handle the basketball and play with Ken and add to their defense. So I guess that's something you could probably make a case of. I'm saying as a Timberwolves person, I would not do that. I would not do that. But that is probably what it would have to take, unfortunately speaking. So, yeah, that's that right there. Next up, we have an interesting team, the Indiana Pacers. So, the Indiana Pacers are interesting in the sense of, you know, like team fit. How do you make this work? Because the idea of Ben Simmons playing with Sabonis does not sit well with me. I just do not think that would really work out. Now, as far as the type of trade you'd want to see happen, let's go ahead and put Ben Simmons over here. You would feel like Sabonis would need to be traded, but also on the 76ers, it's not, I don't think that's a great fit either, so it might be like a 3-team trade, but we'll say Ben Simmons over here. I think like Malcolm Brogdon, it seems like the Pacers have been like looking to get rid of him anyway, and Malcolm would be a perfect fit, just with his efficiency next to like Joel Embiid and everything. So you could do that. Obviously, gotta make another like $10 million here. So at that point, maybe you're tossing in like Jeremy Lamb, just for additional offense for the 76ers. Something along those lines. Like I said, draft picks, additional assets could be needed, but salary-wise, this does get it done. So let's go ahead and try this trade, and it is successful, obviously, here, man. So yeah, and then I think Sabonis would have to be gone, though. I just do not think that would work out with those guys playing together. So we'll close out of that one. Next up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. I hate every bit of this idea of Ben Simmons going to the Cavaliers. Oh, man, unless they get him for, like, a really good value deal. Like, oh, yeah, we'll just take on Kevin Love. But, yeah, I guess, like, because I'm not getting, I don't know how it would even work. Unless Ben Simmons is playing small forward. But at that point, it's like, you got Darius Garland, who, in my opinion, has, like, the credibility and the potential to be, like, one of the biggest, like, breakout players this NBA season. So, you either trade Darius Garland, and you can regret that if he ends up becoming a star, or you keep Darius Garland and Ben Simmons takes away from Darius, as I think Ben Simmons would take away from Cade Cunningham. So, yeah, there's trades here to happen. I just don't like them. I mean, maybe you can do something like, you know, Kevin Love gets to compete over on the 76ers and you take on like Ricky Rubio, but even that's like a ton of salary to take on, and you're not really getting like a star player back for Ben Simmons. You're getting like, you're definitely going into like completely win now mode and hoping that's enough, but that's not a better team than the 76ers with Ben Simmons. So yeah, if I'm the Cavs, I don't do it, and if I'm the 76ers, you probably don't have the pieces that I want like right now, unless you're getting Colin Sexton out of it, but then I'm definitely not doing it, right? Okay, so next up we do have the Toronto Raptors. I would not do a trade if I was the Raptors, because I would have done a trade if they would not have ended up getting Scotty Barnes, but I'm intrigued to see what Scotty Barnes can do actually, you know, playing the point guard spot at times for this team. So yeah, I just kind of want to see that, because I think Scotty Barnes can maybe be like a better version of Ben Simmons in certain regards, offensively speaking. He has a lot to learn and everything too, but I do think Ben Simmons will overall be the better like defensive type of guy compared to Scotty Barnes. But yeah, Scotty has a lot of good potential, right? But I feel like I would rather just take a chance there. But if you're looking to do something, you're probably at that point looking at some sort of like Ben Simmons, Fred VanVleet type of deal. Maybe tossing Goran Dragic, and you get that nice little point guard rotation going for the you know, for the Philadelphia 76ers. Something along those lines would probably get it done, I would say. Next up, we do have the San Antonio Spurs. So the Spurs I actually do like as a fit, because the Spurs I feel like are a team filled of good NBA players, but they don't have that guy yet. And I'm not necessarily saying that Ben Simmons could be that guy for the Spurs, but I do think he's somebody that you can kind of like focus maybe the rebuild around a little bit. And he seems like a guy that might play nicely under like Greg Popovich. And as far as what you can do to make this trade work, well, you know, DeJounte Murray, who is, you know, a guy that can get like near triple doubles, can do a little bit of everything out there. He would be nice for the 76ers. Maybe toss in Thaddeus Young for a little bit of just like having that veteran dude out there. And I mean, they got a lot of guards on this team here too, man. So you might even be able to get like a Derek White from them, which would be phenomenal for the 76ers. So that would be kind of interesting to see. Overall though, man, I have no idea what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. I know one of these days I'm going to wake up and it's going to say Ben Simmons has been traded to the Detroit Pistons, and it's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible, and I'm not going to be happy, guys. It might happen right now. Who knows, man? So yeah, that's all we got for this video. I know you guys are probably sick of people talking about Ben Simmons, and I was trying not to make any more videos about him, but as soon as I saw the Detroit Pistons pop up, I was like, okay, I probably have to talk about this. That's all we got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.